And welcome to the late night edition of the Sports Beat with Richard Holdridge, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. As don't forget, you can catch an episode Monday through Friday, WQEE, up in Noonan, 99.1 FM from 2 to 3, as I've been on that station for about 2 years now. But I'm excited about this show because I'm going to talk about the Monday night football game between the 49ers and the Jets. I mean, I took a page of notes. I mean, I'm a 49ers fan. Of course, I'm going to watch this game and analyze this. And also a melancholy tribute to James Earl Jones, who just passed away today. And this has something to do with sports. I mean, he has been in some of the most iconic sports movies of my lifetime. And I will get into that. Braves take one on the chin. They lose to the Cincinnati Reds. They're a game behind the New York Mets. And we also got what we've got going on Georgia Alabama Sports Live later tomorrow at noon on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live's Facebook page and YouTube channel. That's where I will recap week 4 in high school football. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show with the passing of the most iconic voice in the history of time. Passed away, James Earl Jones, at the age of 93. He was the voice of Darth Vader. He was the voice of Mufasa from The Lion King. He was the voice of CNN. He also was in iconic roles like Coming to America. He played Hakeem's dad. He was in Field of Dreams, Terrence Mann. Kevin Costner had to ease his pain. You know, what does Terrence Mann have to do with baseball? And his speech, people will come, Ray, on the baseball field. They'll come to Iowa. And, you know, going through just the past of baseball, such an iconic legend in Hollywood. We all remember James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader. I mean, but he's also had such incredible voiceovers, and he's going to be missed. I mean, he passed away at the age of 93. He was still, when they were making those reboots of Star Wars, all the way up until the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, James Earl Jones was voicing Darth Vader. I mean, it was incredible, and this is an icon that really, it truly does hurt, just because of what impact he has had on society and just our country as an icon. And I did have an opportunity to meet him. It was around 20 years ago. I was a student at Freed Hardeman. He spoke at the benefit dinner that usually takes place in December at my alma mater. All right, well, it just ended. That's why I'm going on Facebook Live, because I want to do an instant reaction show to the Monday night football games. And we just saw the San Francisco 49ers beat the New York Jets 32-19. And going into this game, in fact, an hour before kickoff, we found out that Christian McCaffrey was not going to play. And the things that were going through my mind was, this is going to be a tight game. This could be one of those defensive struggles, a 9-6 game, a 13-12 game. Both defenses are going to play physical and aggressive. And the people in the pregame show were hyping up the New York Jets. They have one of the best defenses in the league. And Aaron Rodgers, they thought, well, Aaron Rodgers is going to go back to his old form, and he is going to recover from that Achilles injury. He's 40 years old. He's not super Aaron Rodgers like he was back in 2010 when he was lighting it up with the Green Bay Packers. He's still a good quarterback, but everything around him needs to work. And, when your receivers are dropping passes and your running back gets a big turnover and you throw an interception and there's too many penalties, you got to play a perfect game if you want to beat the San Francisco 49ers, in which, my opinion, one of the best teams in the NFL. Later on the show, I'm going to have my NFL rankings. I am going to rate my top 10 NFL teams. Yeah, it's like Colin Cowherd does with his herd hierarchy. I'm going to do it. It's not Tuesday. It's a Monday night. even though this show airs on Tuesday on WQEE. Let's break down the game because the 49ers stalled a little bit. They were a little sluggish. Both defenses filling each other out. The 49ers kick a field goal after the fumble by Breece Hall. But even with that, the Jets defense played very well. Brock Purdy started out 2 of 6. He didn't look all that great. And then when Aaron Rodgers marched down the field and it was 7-3, I said, okay, here we go. Let's see the 49ers try to do some things that are special without Christian McCaffrey. Well, how about Jordan Mason? And by the way, if you didn't pick him up on your fantasy team, he's probably going to be picked up on waiver wires. Jordan Mason, the former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, he had an incredible game. 28 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Not bad for somebody filling in for Christian McCaffrey. He wasn't even the second string running back. Elijah Mitchell was the second string running back who is out for the season. I've been impressed with what the 49ers did, really, to their former defensive coordinator, head coach Robert Saleh, who I just don't know if he's going to last this season. The New York Jets do have some good pieces, but this is just a testament to how good the 49ers still are. They are the team to beat in the NFC. And when it's all said and done, I would not be shocked if it's the 49ers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl once again. We're starting to see the Alabama and Clemson of college football, of the NFL. We're starting to see the Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers in the late 2010s in the NBA. The 49ers and Chiefs are the two best teams in the NFL. And the 49ers proved that they are still there. There's some things they need to clean up, like right before the half, Brandon Ayuk drops a sure touchdown in the end zone. But how about Jake Moody? Money Moody, as we call him. And that's another kicker you got to pick up on your fantasy team. Jake Moody, 6 for 6 on field goals. And the San Francisco 49ers get an incredible win on Monday night. And it was the first win for Brock Purdy on Monday Night Football. And some of the other takeaways, I thought that, the Jets beat themselves by having the 2 turnovers. And the penalties really hurt the New York Jets. I do think that the New York Jets, they do have an easy schedule. But the 49ers they look amazing. Other NFL news, one game I did not touch up on yesterday. The Detroit Lions did beat the LA Rams 26-20 in overtime. And I was listening to Colin Cowherd today. He just loves the Rams. He thinks they are going to be amazing. Puka Nacua is going to be out for 4 weeks. He's going to IR. Cooper Kupp, when healthy, he is good for 20 catches. 12 to 15 to 20 catches. And Matthew Stafford looks like he's in that class with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Matthew Stafford looked incredible. But I think that, the Detroit Lions did not play a perfect game. They were up 17-3, almost blew that game. But they were able to come out with the victory. So I think they're another team to beat in the NFC. Dak Prescott got paid 4 years, $240 million. At $60 million, he is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And he sure played like it with the Cowboys beating the Browns 33-17. I'm thinking that Deshaun Watson trade for 3 first-round picks, I mean, it's rivaling the Trey Lance trade for 3 first-round picks. I think that because Deshaun Watson's contract was guaranteed, Trey Lance was on a rookie deal, that maybe that might not be as bad of a trade. This might be worse. The Deshaun Watson trade is worse than the Trey Lance trade because of the guaranteed money. Anyway, some other notes around the NFL as we have our Thursday night game, the Bills and the Dolphins. The Atlanta Falcons are playing the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. The 49ers are going to take on the Vikings. I'll preview the NFL on Friday's show. Don't worry. Like Carl Lewis said once he sang the national anthem, I'll make up for it. All right, let's move on. Let's go ahead and take that graphic down. Yeah, I'm just all over the place this evening. I want to say that I love doing this show. I'll come on at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night to do a live show, just because, I wanted to get my quick reaction to the Monday Night Football game because I did watch it from start to finish, because I am a lifelong San Francisco 49ers fan. And what a week for the state of California. If you are a Bay Area sports fan, Cal beats Auburn and the 49ers win on Monday Night Football. Highly unlikely. If you polled the average sports fan in the San Francisco Bay Area, they could care less about Cal. Now, I went to high school with some people that went to Berkeley, and they are Cal fans. In fact, they're probably watching this because I'm up late. It's 9:21 on the West Coast. Maybe people I went to high school with are watching my show because I'm talking about the 49ers. I'm also talking about Cal beating Auburn. You need to take notes. People that live in the San Francisco Bay Area, Cal is for real. They are 2-0. They are taking on San Diego State. All right, the Atlanta Braves, they lose 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds. The Mets ended up beating the Toronto Blue Jays. So right now, as it stands, the New York Mets have a 1-game lead on the Atlanta Braves. And this is going to come down to the wire, folks, because I do think that the Mets are not going to be giving up this lead. The Braves, there is no margin of error for the Atlanta Braves right now. 78-66 on the season. I mean, they're 8 back from the Phillies. Phillies haven't clinched yet, but as we get ready, we're about 3 weeks left in the regular season. We're going to be hitting the ground running to make sure that the Atlanta Braves are doing what they do. But I tell you what, this has really been a fun show. That Monday night game was exciting, and I just can't wait until next week. I mean, that's going to be great. All right, some of the other things that I do want to talk about. College football. We have some big games coming up this week. Friday, we got Arizona taking on Kansas State. On Saturday, Alabama is taking on Wisconsin. They are a 16-point favorite. LSU is taking on South Carolina. That's in Columbia. That's going to be a very hostile environment. LSU is favored by 7. Boston College and Missouri. I mean, both teams are 2-0 on the season. I'm putting Oregon on upset alert. I think they lose to Oregon State. Notre Dame trying to bounce back against Purdue. Georgia taking on Kentucky. They are a 24-point favorite. Nebraska ranked for the first time. It's been a while since Nebraska has been ranked. And they are taking on Northern Iowa. And the thing is, I'm not buying Colorado either. I think that we all got fooled. Just like the NISL, Colorado, they fooled us. Another person that fooled me, Colin Kaepernick, when he was playing for the 49ers. Colorado is fool's gold. They are not good at all. But we believed that Coach Prime could get Colorado to the mountaintop. And just like the NISL fooled all of us in Columbus, Colorado is fool's gold right there. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm kind of bouncing around here because I did make a graphic for this, and so I do want to share this. Every Tuesday, Colin Cowherd has what's called the herd hierarchy. He rates his top 10 teams according to Colin Cowherd, and it's based off, your team, how good you are. It's not based on your record. You can lose and still be a great team. I mean, I'm not going to put Green Bay in the herd hierarchy or in my top 10 because they're not the same team without Jordan Love. I mean, Florida State's not the same team without Jordan Travis. So here is the Sports Beats top 10 teams, according to me, Richard Holdridge. Starting at number 10, the Los Angeles Chargers had a great game against the Raiders. And you think of the Chargers as a physical running team. They needed a wide receiver. They ended up drafting Joe Alt because Jim Harbaugh is a physical type of coach. And J.K. Dobbins rushed for over 130 yards. I do think that the Chargers are a playoff team. Jim Harbaugh does have that much of an impact. I put the Saints here in this top 10. And you can debate with me all you want. I mean, there are some teams like the Buccaneers that are on the outside. The Buccaneers had a very good week, but I think the way the Saints demolished the Carolina Panthers, I mean, Alvin Kamara is still great. They got Rashid Shaheed. He is great. And Derek Carr is starting to play like Drew Brees. I mean, where was this Saints team last year? And I think that it's the addition of their new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. Yeah, I thought that Dennis Allen was on the hot seat. I still think he's on the hot seat. But the Saints looking good in week one. And could we all relax? It's just week one. I mean, on Mondays, we start to overreact about the NFL season. And teams are still trying to figure each other out. All right, number 8, I kept the Rams on my top 10, mainly because the Rams played very good against the Detroit Lions and could have easily won that game. But I think that they're not the same team without Puka Nacua. And that defense, they are actually underrated. And I thought that with the loss of Aaron Donald to retirement, that they would not be the same team. Cowboys I have at number 7, just because they completely throttled the Cleveland Browns. And that defense, they have not skipped a beat. After losing Dan Quinn to the Washington Commanders, in comes Mike Zimmer as the defensive coordinator. And with Mike McCarthy doing the play calling, Dak Prescott looks comfortable. He's got his favorite target, CeeDee Lamb. And the leading rusher, surprisingly, was Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe he's found the fountain of youth, and the Dallas Cowboys can be a pretty good team. I mean, they're definitely a playoff team, but they looked very impressive over the Cleveland Browns. Number 6, the Houston Texans. Even though they got a 2-point win over the Indianapolis Colts on the road, the addition of Joe Mixon is really going to help C.J. Stroud out and Stephon Diggs. I think the Houston Texans could be one of the top teams in the AFC. I put the Buffalo Bills up here because I do think that Josh Allen is an MVP caliber quarterback. He's got Keon Coleman, James Cook. He's got some weapons. The Buffalo Bills almost coughed that up against Arizona. I mean, they were down big, but they were able to come back against the Arizona Cardinals because they're the better team. And then finally, you got the top 4, the Detroit Lions. They were one play away last year from making it to the Super Bowl. I still think Dan Campbell is going to motivate the Lions to be a very good team. They do have a tough schedule because they are playing a first-place schedule, but the Detroit Lions have the best offensive line in football. And Jared Goff has Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best wide receivers. You have Aiden Hutchinson on the D-line. You got Terrion Arnold making a big impact as a rookie. The Detroit Lions, very good team. Number 3, I said on the show yesterday, the Philadelphia Eagles might be the most explosive offense in history. But they are missing a couple of key players that were considered leaders. Jason Kelce could have been one of the best centers to ever play the game, retired. That's a big loss. And the Eagles still have Lane Johnson, one of the best right tackles in the history of the game. But they also lost Fletcher Cox to retirement. And they don't have Hassan Reddick. I think it's going to be tough. Remember, the Packers put up 29 points on the Eagles. We'll see what they do. I expect them to beat the Falcons on Monday night. I just think they're just the much better team. Number 2, the reason why I got the 49ers number 2 and not number 1 is because the Chiefs will stay number 1 until somebody knocks them off. The Chiefs have maybe the best quarterback on the planet in Patrick Mahomes. And as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are the team to beat. It doesn't matter who the receivers are. It doesn't matter that Travis Kelce's getting up there in age. The Chiefs still have a great defense. And the way they beat the Baltimore Ravens, they play the Bengals, which I think they win. And they go 2-0, which I thought they were going to go 0-2. I'm eating crow on that one. But the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat the Bengals because the Bengals are just looking terrible right now without T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So let me go ahead and take that graphic down for you. All right, there you go. And I just want to say this has been a really fun show. Stay tuned tomorrow at 12 o'clock on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page and YouTube channel. I will have my scoreboard show where I will recap week 4 in high school football. Wednesday's show, it's going to be all about the local teams in and around the Chattahoochee Valley, all the volleyball and softball scores, and Columbus State. Columbus State soccer's 2-0, and they get ready for a big matchup this Wednesday at the Walton Soccer Complex. And then I'm also going to preview week 5 in high school football on Thursday's show. Might even have a guest or two. We'll just play it by ear. And by the way, this is episode 905. So that goal to get to 1,000 episodes is going to happen sooner rather than later. And that is part of the grind. That's something that I learned from my past when I was a broadcasting major in college. I had my own sports talk show. I called games on the radio. I was writing for the school newspaper. I just love sports. I love just talking about it and telling a story. And that's why I love having this platform, because I'm able to do that years later. And it's really been a blessing. Thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody has a great night. We'll see you next time.